I hope everybody is doing all right. I'm here to talk about a book where nobody is doing all right. I'm talking about The Stand, Stephen King. No spoilers, more like a recommendation. This book has led me to the conclusion that books are possibly the rawest form of art, because if your imagination can handle picturing the things that happens in these books, like the stuff that happens in this book, I can't even talk about it on here. I can't even talk about it on YouTube, but it's one of the rawest forms of art because it's free expression of the mind, which means it can paint all types of pictures without actually painting them. All you got to do is be able to articulate them, like, you know, the author is the legendary Stephen King, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. They tried to adapt this into TV series in two cases. They tried to adapt it two times, one time in the 90s and one time recently in like 2010s. The late 2010s is so trash. I'm gonna show something to everybody that always says that they hate or dislike certain media. It was so trash. I tried to give it a chance. I watched like 2 episodes of it. No. I immediately got up out of there. I went to the 90s series, the 90s mini series. I think it was on the roll or something, because it came out around the same time that it dropped. And you know, it is another popular story by Stephen King that was adapted into movies and other TV, like mini TV series. It was a mini TV series, The Stand, much better than the one that came out recently. Still, it could not capture what the book did. The book is the peak form of this story, in my opinion. Is so many like meticulous pieces that can't even really be expressed in a TV show, like the thought of the characters, the expression of like things, like talking about like the smell whenever you know what, let me go back. Let me run a quick summary of the book, because I'm gonna be saying stuff and people that have no clue what I'm talking about are gonna be like, what? And I'm doing exactly what the shows did. One thing about the shows is they cater so much to the fans of the book that if you have no clue what this story is about, you're just like, what is going on? Why is this character like this? Why is she pregnant? What happened? It doesn't have enough time. If you listen on the audiobook format, it's like 50 hours of audio. This is an epic. This book is an epic set over the course of like from the summer to the spring of the next year. So anyways, a quick summary of the book while I'm sitting up here getting out of hand. It is a pandemic story. A pandemic sweeps across the United States as we know it. Everybody starts falling sick. Everybody starts dying immediately. I'm talking about characters getting established, characters getting vanquished. And next thing you know, we have a few survivors like just moving throughout the world. These survivors come from all different walks of life. These survivors have different types of mindsets. It's not just like one like giant team of single-minded individuals. It's like just different people, conflicted opinions, conflicted morals, ways of life, having to establish society again. If you a fan of Fallout, if you a fan of post-apocalyptic games, this is a good book for you. It's you're gonna get all types of things. You're gonna get like dark, violent situations. You're gonna get people dealing with loneliness. You're gonna get all types of scenarios that show how different people handle this situation. It's gonna be tragedies, it's gonna be comedy, it's gonna be romance. It's a lot of stuff touched on in this book, and I was just like, man, when he was writing this book, like when Stephen King was writing this book, he must have just been trying to touch into like every, like as many perspectives as he could. Still no spoilers, but one of my most memorable moments while reading the book was a perspective of a 5-year-old kid. Like he gets his own chapter dedicated to him. The chapter is not even that long, but you know, a kid can barely articulate. When I read that, I was like, oh my God, because I'm like sitting up here, I had on my headphones, I'm sitting up here moving around the world and everything, and I'm listening to that, and I was like, oh man, this is touching, this is insane. This book brought me to thoughts. I got this theory in my head that the more convenient life gets for us, the more pettier we get as society. In this book, the pettiness comes around faster than you would think, because at first everybody is banding together. We got to build society back up. We got to do all these basic things, establishing like establishing city orders, establishing what to do when you build up a community, how to accept people, new people into the community, how to deal with people who violate in the community. But then you still get that petty stuff creeping in, like the infidelities, people being jealous of one another. All that stuff still creeps back in, you know what I'm saying? Even while you're trying to rebuild society. Once upon a time, I was complaining about a girl that broke my heart. I'm gonna say back in less convenient times, we had ancestors that had to make sure that they go hunt at the right time so they don't miss out on food for a week. Because if a herd decides to move miles and miles away, it's gonna be hard not getting all that meat. But yeah, y'all, that's The Stand. It was a nice epic read. I heard it's one of his most popular books. Raw human emotion, perspectives from all different types of places. That's one of King's strong suits, his character building. Yeah, man, I recommend that. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Y'all be safe and stay geek. Back to cooking.